Hey there, friends. Today I'm going to take a look at Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes Volume 1. So, I knew nothing about the Legion of Superheroes going into this, but I'll talk about that in a bit actually. Let's take a look at the build of the book first. So, this is a standard sized hardcover, not oversized like a deluxe edition or an omnibus. This is same size as a trade paperback, basically, minus the little bit of extra space for just the hardcover board. This cover is beautiful to me. It's got great art by Mike Grell here. This is the cover to all new collector's edition C55. That's one of the issues collected in here. It's actually a pretty important issue, I think, and I'll talk about that in a bit as well. The art runs right across, wraps around the spine to the back. Beautiful stuff here. And I like what they did with the text. I like the font that they chose. I like that it's slanted. It really adds a nice dynamic composition to this book, and yeah, really attractive cover to me. That's what the spine looks like. And if we open this up, on the inside flap, we've got a picture of Superboy here. On the back, we've got some creator bios: Paul Levitz, Mike Grell, James Sherman. And if we go, I'll take the dust jacket off. We've got the same art from the dust jacket, but it's blown up and it wraps around as well. This is a weird design choice for me anyway. The art doesn't look any better when it's blown up like this, and I feel like this was a good opportunity to print probably like another cover from a different issue or a different two-page spread from somewhere else. But overall, still a good-looking book. The paper quality, so this is 100% matte paper, and I love it. It's got decent thickness. There's a nice tooth to the paper. I'm not a fan of glossy paper, especially for stuff that was originally published in newsprint. So I like the fact that they went with matte paper here. I really feel like stuff that was printed originally in newsprint should be reproduced on matte paper, just a high quality matte paper. And that's what they've done here, which I really like. And you can see from the binding that it is glued. There's no space here, no flex. There's no eye on the spine, but it's not too bad because this isn't a very thick book to begin with. And being Bronze Age material, a lot of the artwork is confined to panels within a single page. When you do get a double page spread, however, try and find one here somewhere. There we go. When you do get a double page spread, yeah, there is gutter loss, and this one is especially egregious because the center, the focus of this art is right in the middle of the page. So this is a double page spread from the all new collector's edition. What's the full name here? I always forget because it's not actually a Legion book. All new collector's edition C55. Those were treasury-sized comics that DC produced in the 70s or in the Bronze Age, and they were oversized, like really big, bigger than your today's omnibus-sized books. And yeah, so for something like that, yeah, it would make sense to have like a double-page spread with the focus of the composition right in the middle, because you wouldn't have this kind of gutter loss in the original comic. But here in a collected edition like this, yeah. It's especially bad here. You can't even see Superboy's head. Thankfully, though, not a lot of those, and it didn't bother me that much, to be honest. So in terms of content, this collects, let's get to that information right here. This collects Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes 234 to 240, DC Superstars 17, and all new collector's edition C55. Now, like I said at the beginning, I knew nothing about Legion of Superheroes going into this. It was just a corner of the DC universe I never was interested in exploring, partly because there's just so many of these characters, and partly because I couldn't figure out where to start because their continuity is all messed up. I don't know. I think they've been rebooted or reset a few times, especially post Crisis. And like I said, there's so many of them. And to be honest, they didn't seem very interesting to me. All I could tell was they had just really weird names, usually in the form of some noun followed by boy or girl, lad or lass. And with the exception of Brainiac 5, and he's the only character I know about because I remember him showing up, and I think it was a Justice League Unlimited cartoon way back in the day. I don't even know what year that was, early 2000s maybe. And yeah, that's all I knew about Legion of Superheroes. But because I'm a glutton for punishment, I went out and got the Legion of Superheroes 5 years later omnibus, because it was got at a good price and it had really good reviews. But of course, all those good reviews came from Legion of Superheroes fans. So I realized going into that book that if I was going to read it, I would probably end up having Wikipedia open next to me for like every issue. So I wanted to go back and really get to know Legion of Superheroes first. And I realized I could have started with the Silver Age stuff because they've been collected into 3 omnibuses. But honestly, DC Silver Age material can be a bit of a slog to get through. And, well, it's not that I don't like any of it. I do have all the Flash Silver Age Omnis, the Green Lantern ones, Adam Strange. I like the... sometimes I like the campiness and the innocence of that era, and I really like the clean art of that era. Like with the Flash stuff, it's Carmine Infantino, the Green Lantern's Gil Kane. I just love the clean look of those Silver Age DC stories. But with Legion of Superheroes, because I have no familiarity with them whatsoever, and therefore no fondness for the characters, trying to get through their Silver Age stories could be difficult. And didn't want to put in that kind of effort, at least not right now. So I got this book, which I think is the earliest Bronze Age material that's been collected into hardcover, and it's also around the start of the Paul Levitz era. And Paul Levitz is one of those writers who's most strongly associated with Legion of Superheroes. He's written quite a few iconic stories, the most iconic being the Great Darkness saga, which I really hope DC reprints one day, because I don't want to pay eBay prices for that trade paperback or deluxe edition. And anyway, yeah, as I got to reading this, I gotta say I did overall I enjoyed this. I'm someone who enjoys comics from Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern Age, whatever you want to call the age these days. I love comics from almost any era, and for the most part, I did enjoy these stories. They are very, very simple, like very straightforward though. It does carry forth some of that kind of simplistic, innocent storytelling from the Silver Age, even though this is Bronze Age, and it mixes in, what Bronze Age typically was add in more internal drama or interpersonal drama, just to add some maturity to those stories. For the most part, these stories are they're kind of formulaic. They're usually in the form of, oh look, here's a subset of the Legion of Superheroes, because there's just too many of them to actually write a story with all of them showing up, not on a regular basis anyway. So here's a group of the heroes of the Legionnaires. Oh, here's a bad guy who comes in to cause a problem. Legionnaires fight or confront the bad guy, and then there's usually some kind of twist or Deus Ex Machina ending where one of the Legionnaires has a secret plan or figured something out and he didn't tell anyone, but he came out and saved the day, or one of the bad guys overestimated or underestimated something and then lost. There were some issues that really stood out for me that I really enjoyed. There's one here, this one here, the Legion's Super Secret. This one is the Legion's Super Secret. This one's drawn by Mike Grell and it is gorgeous. I love this art. Also, most of this book, yeah, DC in the Bronze Age seem to have this kind of house style that to me it seems very based on Neil Adams. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way that's the impression I get looking at a lot of DC Bronze Age material. And so with Mike Grell, I mean, it's beautiful artwork, and this is an interesting story. It's got a nice sci-fi edge to it. I don't want to spoil it, but this is one of the ones that stood out for me. Another issue that stood out for me was actually written by Jim Starlin, and that one's more of a murder mystery. So this one's written and drawn. No, he does the layouts. Jim Starlin does the story and the layouts, and you can tell it's just when you get to this issue, it looks very, very different. For me, very reminiscent of Starlin's Adam Warlock stuff around the same time in the 70s. And this was a pretty good story, I thought. It was very different, had more of that mature bent to it, where there's more interpersonal and inner conflict between the characters. So this is another one that stood out for me. And the last one, maybe not the last one, but this one here, it's a quick one. Mon-El's One-Man War. This was fun. Just because it focused entirely on Mon-El. It was a character I don't know anything about, but after reading this, I guess he has the same powers as Superman. He's a Daxamite, and I remember we had Daxamites in Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, and they also, I guess, absorb solar energy the way Superman does, but they don't have the weakness to kryptonite. Anyway, this was a fun issue because the art is fantastic, and it's so focused, this story, and it's just on one of the Legionnaires. This was a nice issue. And then of course there is all new collector's edition. Let's get to the cover of that one. Oh yeah, so this one obviously stood out for me. I think this is the big story in this collection, because this one is significant enough that it is getting reprinted on its own in what DC's now calling their tabloid format, which is basically the size of the old Treasury editions, so much bigger than this standard size book. And yeah, so this one I guess is a pretty iconic Legion of Superheroes story. It's got the wedding between Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad, and it's got a time travel story, which was pretty cool. And this one's all drawn by Mike Grell. Again, beautiful art, and pretty neat story. It's not like it's Bronze Age. So if you like Bronze Age material, especially Bronze Age DC, I think this is worth giving a look at. And one thing I really did like about these books is I do enjoy that innocence to Legion of Superheroes. And so now I'm really interested in that I know that tone is going to turn in the 5 Years Later omnibus. So it's just interesting to familiarize myself with these characters and the general atmosphere of their stories, and then go in and see how that's going to get twisted around in 5 Years Later. Yep. Overall, this was a pretty fun read. It's quick too, even though there's a lot more text in Bronze Age than today. But yeah, very, very quick read because the stories are fairly simple and straightforward. That DC Bronze Age stuff. Oh, one of the weird things for me is the costumes for some of these characters. These are not their original costumes. Obviously, I know they changed them in the 70s. But like Saturn Girl, as I don't know, that's just the women especially are wearing just the skimpiest outfits. Some of them anyway. So Saturn Girl, there's another one. I think it's Laurel Kent, and I can't remember which issue is in. She's practically naked. Where's that one? There we are. So Laurel Kent, she's a descendant of Superman. Her costume is the skimpiest costume I've ever seen in almost any comic. I think Lady Death wears more clothing than Laurel Kent in Legion of Superheroes. So, you know, I get it, right? These books are geared towards teenage boys or prepubescent boys, but like it's ridiculous. Oh, and then Cosmic Boy. I feel like Cosmic Boy is wearing the most ridiculous costume I've ever seen on a superhero. So he's basically, okay, let's get a front shot of this. Probably saw it in one of the other pages I flipped through. Okay, so this is Cosmic Boy's costume. He's basically wearing, I guess, a man's version of a skimpy bathing suit. Like there's the back and there's the front, and it just goes over and covers his nipples. And when I first saw that, I was like, that's ridiculous. What is he wearing? But yeah, I guess, you know, 1970s, fun times. So overall, I enjoyed this book. It is a little bit, it's definitely dated. You definitely feel that. If you like that kind of stuff like I do, then definitely worth giving this a shot. Or if you're not too sure, get it digitally, read it first, or borrow it from the library. But yeah, I don't regret buying this. It was a lot of fun to go through, and I've got the second volume, and I'm gonna start that one pretty soon. And oh yeah, here's James. I think this is James Sherman's art. Yeah, James Sherman's art. Yeah, I love the artwork for most of these issues. It's between Mike Grell and James Sherman. There is that Jim Starlin one. Who's drawing the rest of these? Let's check that out first. So we've got some Walt Simonson actually. Jim Starlin. Howard Chaykin does some layouts. James Sherman again. Yeah, so got George Tuska, that's pretty nice. Rick Estrada, Mike Nasser. Yeah, the overall the artwork it's okay. It's like the Grell and the Sherman stuff looks fantastic. And the rest of these, it's passable for me. Yeah. So I know it's not a glowing review for this book altogether, but if you're a fan of Legion of Superheroes, you're probably getting this anyway. And if you're on the fence, but you're like me and you kind of like the historical significance of these stories, or you just enjoy the Bronze Age storytelling, just turning your brain off and plowing through some Bronze Age stories, it's fun. It's just a quick and fun way to pass the time. Anyway, let's see if there's any. I can't recall if there's extra material. So yeah, there's a little bit. We've got the pitch for the tabloid edition for the All-Star Collector's Edition C55. So this is Paul Levitz's pitch for the story. And then some character notes. And more character notes, and that's it. Yeah, not a lot of special features or extras in the back, which is more ads. That's it. Superboy, Legion of Superheroes Volume 1. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you're going to pick this up, or if you are definitely not picking this up. Yeah, either way, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button or subscribe if you feel like it. And once again, have a wonderful day.